No, but is that with the
Apocalypse
Tannerite?
Now? No, Apocalypse Now is Ted Nugent and this guy that calls himself Pigman, who has a show on one of the Sportsman's Channel, the Outdoor Channel. They shot like 250 plus pigs in an afternoon, and they all did it out of helicopters. And it's like da 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 da, like flying. It's insane. And you watch, you're like, how is this legal? Like, I guess it's legal because you have to do it that way. They have so many pigs. Like, here it is. This is Apocalypse Now. It's all slow-mos of headshots. That's Pigman.
Dead everywhere. I don't want to put a number on it. I'm having a hell of a time. I got guys scattered everywhere. All on dead pigs, gutting them, loading them in Rangers, taking them, feed a whole lot of people.
That's the other thing, the Hunters for the Hungry. I mean,
Yeah, that's a really good.
it's
That's
an
a really
amazing
good
program.
organization.
Yeah, they shoot an incredible amount of these pigs and then feed them to people, and it is good, man. There's a guy out here named Jesse Griffiths who owns a great restaurant called Die Due in Austin, and he runs a school where he teaches people how to hunt. He teaches them first how to shoot rifles, then how to hunt, then they hunt hogs, teaches them how to butcher them and cook them. And he's an amazing chef. And this guy, I mean, if you think that wild hogs taste like shit, talk to this guy. And
Because he'll knock it out.
Oh my God! Some of the best meals I've ever eaten in my life. He cooked diver duck, which everybody says are disgusting. I've
Like
only
a
had it
scallop?
once. Yeah, I've only had it once from him. Because they say the diver ducks eat all the shit that's at the bottom, all the muck that's at the bottom, and most people say they taste disgusting. He cooked it. It was one of the best foods I've ever eaten in my life.
Really?
Yeah. He just knows how to do it right. He's like, it's not that these things taste bad. It's just people don't have the knowledge of how to prepare them correctly.
Well, if you think about it, you can go to any gun store or pawn shop and buy a 30-year-old Remington 700 with a scope on it for $400. Box of bullets is going to cost you $30. License is going to cost you $35. You can go shoot a hog. You can go shoot a deer, which someone's got to manage them. The ecosystem's demolished, so there's nothing else doing it. So they're just going to overpopulate and disease. And you can create a year's worth of meat for $600.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And then the next year you cut it down to $300, and then the next year you cut it down to $150.
Yeah. And it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's
And
very satisfying.
you're taking responsibility for your own food.
Yeah. And still, there's people that think there's something wrong with that. But that's how disconnected society is.
Well, look, I think one of the most absurd positions anyone can take is they're a vegan for an ethical reason. It's preposterous. You could do it for a medical reason, even though I don't know what that reason would be, but maybe you can't process, meat, you can't process proteins like that. But to do it from an ethical reason is absurd. And the reason I say that is I have plowed a field. It is carnage. It is 12 feet of carnage. And every single plant that you eat is going to be tilled into the ground in some capacity. So you're going to kill everything when you plow that field.
Famous conversation that Kevin Costner has in Yellowstone.
That's why I wrote it.
Yeah.
Was people have to understand. You have to take ownership.
That same thing, Ted Nugent has said this on this podcast. He said, if you want to kill the most things, become a vegan.
Yeah, 100%.
If you're thinking about individual life, if you don't think that one life equals one life, if you think that small things aren't as valuable as large things, that's a totally different discussion, and that's a weird discussion. But if you think that all life is sacred, well, what about the lives of the ground nesting birds, fawns?
Yeah.
What about the lives of rodents, insects? All those things are getting demolished.
The average organic avocado farm in Central California is going to kill, on average, around 19,000 ground squirrels a year. That's not counting the billions of bees, because they're going to bring the bees up from Brazil to pollinate the trees, and then they're going to fucking die. They're not sending them back anywhere. They're not keeping them in some. No, they're gone. They're going to spray with some organic, which is probably just like compressed cayenne pepper. They're going to spray the trees. They're going to kill every bug, every plant, everything. All you got to do is drive I-5 through the San Joaquin Valley, and you'll see plenty of almonds. You'll see plenty of all these different groves. You won't see any birds. You won't see anything else.
Yeah.
They fucking killed them all.
Yeah, that's a hard pill for
Yeah.
a lot of people to swallow that think they're doing something that's ethically correct.
Well, if you look anywhere in the ecosystem, take man out of it. Virtually everything is living at the expense of another organism, to the degree that if a certain weed grows up over the grass, it's killing the grass. If the tree grows up, this little sapling grows up over the grass, it's killing the grass. The grass grows up before the weeds, it kills the weeds, kills the flowers, kills this. Everything is in competition with everything else. There is not a vegan fish. There's not a vegetarian fish. Every single fish, every frog, they're eating another organism to survive. Every one of them. And that's what we did for as long as, whenever we split from apes, that's what we did. Apes still do it. They talk about, oh, they eat fruit. They eat fruit till they get a hold of those little freaking panzer monkeys.
Yeah.
And then they go to town, those chimpanzees.
They didn't even know about that until that David Attenborough documentary.
Yeah.
You ever see that one?
Yeah.
Where they're eating
Oh,
eating the
dude, they
monkeys
go
in the
to
trees?
war. If you ever
Eating
wonder
them
where our
alive.
violent streak comes from,
Oh, yeah.
watch chimpanzees.
Yeah. Have you seen Chimp Nation?
No.
That's another great Netflix series.
Yeah.
Fuck. Incredible. They
Yeah.
they kill each other. And I asked the guy, I go, how often do they kill monkeys? He goes, we really didn't show how many times they killed monkeys because they do it so often.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's literally their preferred food.
Yeah.
They're
They're going to eat
kill
the
monkeys.
leaves and the fruits and everything until they need that protein.
Yeah, they eat the fruit because it's easy.
Yeah.
But if they can find monkeys, they go after monkeys.
Yeah.
And they eat them alive. They just start chewing
Yeah.
on them.
It's just-
There's a video of this monkey's like screaming while this chimp is eating him from the hips down. Just "Rah!" You see his little face, and it just looks so much like us. To watch him just get eaten alive by a chimp who also looks a lot like us is just so fucked.
Yeah.
That's the real nature. That's not vegan nature. That's not this bullshit utopian artificial paradise that people have created in their mind that they're doing if they're eating vegan. It's just not true. Unless you're growing all of your own food in your yard, unless you have a contained environment where you're composting and using mulch and you're making sure that everything that you grow, you're picking it yourself, you're just fencing it off to keep squirrels from eating it. If that's not the case, you're involved in murder.
But even then, you don't think you're going to have what happens when the grasshoppers come.
Right.
And they'll get through that fence.
Oh, yeah. And they'll
So then
devastate
what?
your crops. You're
Yeah.
going to have to kill the grasshoppers.
You can
Yeah.
kill the grasshoppers, and what are you going to do when the squirrel gets in? You can't fence off your trees.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? Well, you're either going to give away a lot of your crop, which you're not going to want to do, or you're going to come up with a way to, or you're going to run the squirrel off. Okay, well, then you just killed it because you ran it out of its habitat.